YouTube, welcome back to my channel. You might be wondering why I have this giant stack of books in front of me. These are some of the books that I'm planning to read in January. Yeah, today's January 10th and I know it's late, but these are the books that I'm planning to read. No, these are some of the books that I'm planning to read in January. I have a big goal this year. My reading goal I've set on Goodreads, I've announced it to the world, is to read 120 books. That includes 54 books that have won the Man Booker Prize and a certain number of the books that are on my TBR shelf, as well as clear out all the books that I downloaded and promised to review for publishers. I just want to get my reading life back together. So these are some of the books that I'm planning to read in January, and I'm going to tell you about these as well as the others. So stay tuned for my very ambitious January TBR video. Let's start talking about the books. So now we're back in January. So sometimes I forget the names. I'm going to close my eyes while I talk about it, so we'll pretend that you can't see me either. Other books. So you decided to watch this video. Thanks for that. Thanks for your support. I just want to say thank you to everyone who watches and comments and likes my videos and shares them and talks about them and engages with me on social media. I enjoy every comment. I read and try to respond to every comment. So if I didn't respond to a previous comment from you, please don't get discouraged. I respond. I try again. If you ever reached out to me and I didn't give you any feedback, please try again. So let's just start with an apology. I understand that my channel is very different from a lot of other booktube channels that you'll see. You'll see booktubers who have announced their channel goals and have posted their wonderful wrap-ups and statistic videos even before the new year has started, or at least started properly. That's not me. Booktube is not my full-time job. It takes me a while to get things going. So all of the things that I plan to do, all the things that I've promised, if I've promised them, they're coming. They just sometimes take a little longer than other people. For now, we're starting with the books that I'm planning to read in January. I've already started with my January reading, so a few of the books that I talk about here I've already read, and you'll see them mentioned at the end of the month in my recap videos, or my statistics at the end of the month videos, or my links videos. I'm not sure how I'm going to do those yet. I think I'm going to be going back to reviewing books 3 at a time so that it doesn't catch up on me at the end of the month, because those videos can get really long. You'll notice that my November Reads video just went up because it took a while to curate all the footage that I'd been collecting, and yeah, we're not going to get into that. So now we're back in January. One of the reading goals that I have this year is to read all the books that have won the Man Booker Prize, and I've decided to start collecting the books. So I've started with the book that won the inaugural Man Booker Prize, Something to Answer For by P.H. Newby. I've also ordered the next 3 books that won the Booker Prize after this. That is Troubles by J.G. Farrell, The Elected Member by Bernice Rubens, and In a Free State by V.S. Naipaul. I don't have those 3 books now because I've ordered them. They're making their way to me slowly. In my announcement video where I announced my Man Booker Reading Challenge for 2019, I mistakenly said that this book came from Book Depository, but no, I did order this one from Amazon. The other 3 books are coming from Book Depository. So I have this on my January TBR as well as the other 3 books that I just mentioned, and those are my Man Booker Reading Challenge. Another goal that I have on my channel this month is a NetGalley purge. NetGalley is a website where book bloggers or people who work in the book industry in whatever capacity can sign up to download galley copies of books before they're published. So in exchange for an honest review, you get a free preview of what the book is going to look like before it gets published. And I don't know, I went crazy last year. Well, not just last year. I went crazy and downloaded 15 books that are still in my queue, and I need to read them. I've already started on that. So 3 of the books that I read at the beginning of the month are NetGalley copies. that I just wanted to read and review so that I can move on. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't request a new book from NetGalley until I'd already read and reviewed all the ones that previously sent me. So I had 15 books in my queue. Right now I'm down to 12, and some of the reviews are so old that the books have already been published and have been published now for a while. One of those books is Days of Awe by A.M. Holmes. It's a short story collection that was published in June 2018, which tells you how long I've had the galley copy just sitting around. It's no longer a galley copy, but I said I would read it. I said I would review it. I'm still going to do it, even though I'm now reading the final version. Other books that are on my queue, so now I'm going to need my computer for that. I'm going to tell you the books that I started off January with. I had The Truth About Parallel Lines by Jill D. Block. I have The Girl He Used to Know by Tracey Garvis Graves, So Much Life Left Over by Louis de Bernieres, Miracle Creek by Angie Kim, The Day the Sun Died by Lianke, One Part Woman by Perumal Murugan, My Purple Scented Novel by Ian McEwan, Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield, Kissing Max Holden by Katie Upperman, Better with Age by Phyllis Strupp, The Man in a Hurry by Paul Murand, Why We Work by Barry Schwartz, Together Apart by Natalie K. Martin, Me, My Hair and I by Elizabeth Benedict, The Unhappiness of Being a Single Man by Franz Kafka. A couple of those I've already read, so you'll hear more about those coming soon. So those are my NetGalley arcs. I also have some books that I got in December that I want to read and want to read as soon as possible, so that the people who gave me these books know that I appreciate them. The first is Mad Boy by Nick Arvin. This is historical fiction that is centered around the War of 1812. I talked about this one in my haul video in December. I also have In a Mad and Furious City by Gunaratne. This is a previous Man Booker nominee from last year, and this one I got from Sean at Sean the Book Maniac. I want to read this ASAP. I also have a couple of arcs that are making their way to me, but right now I have this arc, which I think is being published in February. I was going to save this one for Black History Month because Marlon James, the author, is Jamaican, but I want to read it now as soon as possible. And this is Black Leopard, Red Wolf. And Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany met the author and got this signed arc when she attended BookCon. So this is a book that I should read as soon as possible. It is over 600 pages, so I don't know if I can read it in January, but it's on my January TBR, so that I can try. Other arcs that I received from publishers and promised to read and review, so I have reviews scheduled in January, and that is Pretty in Punxsutawney by Laurie Boyle Crumpton and Between Before and After by Maureen Doyle McQuarrie. Both of these are 3 named authors, and so sometimes I forget the names. But I really like especially this cover, and these are both young adult novels that the synopsis was very intriguing to me. So even though I'm not a huge YA fan, I said I would read these because the synopsis sounds intriguing enough for me to overlook the fact that the main characters are teenagers. Other arcs that I got, I won this arc in a giveaway from Goodreads, and this is Stay Up with Hugo Best by Erin Summers. I'm kind of flying through these because I've told you about the synopsis in previous videos, and so yeah, I don't think I need to repeat them. Then we have some books that I got from the library. I went to the library a few days ago and I got 3 new books along with 1 book that has been hanging around. First of my library stash is a book that I'm a little ashamed to say I still have, but I'm going to tell you about it first, and I'm going to close my eyes while I talk about it, so we'll pretend that you can't see me either. The Girl Who Wrote Loneliness by Kyung Suk Shin is a book that I got from the library, I think in October. It's been on my TBR ever since then, and I still haven't read it. I need to read it in January because it needs to be returned in January, so we're going to say that this definitely has to get read in January. Other books that I just picked up from the library this week. First is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, and this one I was going to do a buddy read off with Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, but she finished reading it before I could get it from the library, so I'm still going to read it so we can chat about it. She also told me about this book. I think it was in her favorites of the year. This is Ta-Nehisi Coates' We Were 8 Years in Power. I read his Between the World and Me, and it was one of my favorite books in 2017, so I was glad that I got it from the library. As a matter of fact, this is the choice this month for the men's book club at my local library, and I want to read it. I'm not a guy, but I want to read it. And then there is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I read Ruth Ware's Woman in Cabin 10 last year, and there were things that I liked about her book. There are things that I like about her writing, but that book had a lot of misses for me, but I've heard that this book is way better, so I want to give Ruth Ware another chance. She's a thriller writer, and I like thrillers. I like fast-paced books, and I think that even though this is about 350 pages, the fact that it is a thriller is going to make this one go fast, and I need to read books that are going to go fast. So this right here is a stash of the 12 physical books that I have right now on my January TBR. I also have 14 other electronic versions from my NetGalley downloads, because while I started with 15, I do have a physical copy of one of those books. And so I also have 4 books that are on their way to me that I'd like to read in January, because, well, my Man Booker prize-winning challenge, I have to read 4 books in the first month in order to stay on track. So while those books haven't gotten here yet, whenever they come, I need to read them in January. So this, plus those other books that I talked about, represents my January TBR. It's ambitious, I know, but I could do it. At least I'm gonna try. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. You're gonna want to see how I do with this reading this month. So yeah, come on back. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've read any of these and want to talk to me about them, or if you're interested in doing a buddy read with me. I'd like to hear from you as well. And so yeah, let's talk in the comments, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.